Hello. Just setting this up. Welcome to my live today. I'm just setting this up to live stream into my group, so bear with me for one moment. My 4 keys to my conscious living system to embody more calm and zen into your life. And this is incredibly important, especially if you have a thyroid condition, but for any condition, or just for your general health and well-being, right? So I'm just getting this into the group. And the reason for that is because stress and overwhelm can just spiral way out of control and cause a lot of knock-on effects to ill health. So if you're joining me, just take a beat and I'll be with you in a moment. Okay, here we go. About to go live. All right, we are on. Hello. Welcome to this week's live, the Thyroid Diaries, episode 4, which is all about beating stress that could turn and trigger into anxiety, that could turn and trigger into overwhelm. And do you know what? Because we have this beautiful brain of ours, we create neuronal circuitry pathways so that those little pathways become 6-lane highways. So this is a very important health and wellness, I suppose, aspect to your life to get a hold of, to start creating some new rituals and new ways of doing things, and essentially establishing a new, I suppose, reaction. Instead of reaction, you're not actually reacting, and more mindfulness, so that you can have more calm and more zen. Because the way you react and your impact on something, okay, your emotional impact, it's actually not going to change the outcome of whatever the thing was that triggered you in the first place. It's not. But what it is going to do is impact you, impact your nervous system. And if it's something that's long-standing, impact your whole health and well-being, which can knock on to a lot of ill effects if it's not managed. Thinking of right now, thyroid, obviously, absolutely, because stress is a major trigger for that. Also, it can cause a lot of digestive upset and issues. It can cause some chronic insomnia, blood pressure, blood sugar, it can cause emotion. It can trigger into emotional eating as well. And it can really impact relationships of people that we're around as well. So today is all about my 4 keys to conscious living, to actually living consciously, right? Rather than being up there too much, to embodying your emotions and really, I suppose, being a little bit more present and grounded and deliberate in the way you respond to certain situations. So if you're just joining me here now, just say hello, let me know that you're here, give me a thumbs up, give me a wave, and let's get stuck into it. So, okay, so the thing is stress and anxiety often can trigger into overwhelm, okay? And this depletes your body, it depletes your whole system over time. So it can cause, like there's imminent stresses that can impact us, our whole health and wellness, or there are chronic stresses, which are more of a, I suppose, undercurrent, low grade stress, which could be emotional. There are many different sources where the stress could come from. It could be emotional, it could be from a particular thing in your life that occurred, an event, because we can't have control over things. So ideally, if we can craft or create a way or an awareness so that we are just, I mean, of course we can't be bulletproof. We're emotional beings, but if we can create a way where it's just not impacting our nervous system the way it may have in the past, that is an absolute win for you, right? So it's like you honor yourself and your body on such a deep, intimate level that you're just not going to let that external factor rock in and vibrate in and actually cause you to go out of sync. Yeah. So there are different ways. It doesn't mean that you don't care about the situation. It doesn't mean that you're not impacted by it, but it's about your response. So when I said reaction before, I was actually thinking of the word response, but I couldn't think of it. So yeah, it's about improving your response to external situations, so that you can actually it's about honoring yourself, right? It's about honoring yourself. And it doesn't mean that you don't love, if it's a particular member of the family that's an impact, it doesn't mean you don't love that person or that whole situation more or less. It just, what it means is that you're just honoring yourself, so that you're not being impacted in that strong way that's actually causing you ill health. Okay, so this is what I wish for you to get out of this. So if you're here, let me know that you're here. Give me a thumbs up or a heart. I can't see what's going on. It's a very one-way system. I can only see at the end of the live. So let me know that you're here, so that I can interact as best as I can. All right, so let's get into the first strategy. So the first strategy is really understanding your triggers and understanding your threshold for stress. Okay. Now it could be something that will always trigger you. It could be something, hey Sarah, great to see you here. It could be something that's external to you. It could be a particular person that may always trigger you. Yeah, it could be a situation. So when you've got a quiet time outside of the stressful time, what I recommend is just put a bit of pen to paper and just write about it. Get it out. Get it out of your system. Write about it. And you don't know what's going to be written down, because it's just, you're just kind of living and breathing and just getting it out of your system, right? And then that's one method. So you're kind of self-managing and self-regulating here, but understanding what those triggers are, because we've all got different thresholds and we've all got different triggers, and they could be different thresholds and triggers for different events, situations, whatever is the external factor that's causing stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. So we want to prevent that. And the best way to start implementing some health fortifying strategies that serve you is to build the awareness. So this is going to help you to build the awareness. Okay. Once you've got that awareness and understanding of what triggers you, you can be better placed to navigate. Now, I'm not downplaying anything here, because some things, if they are significantly stressful, you may need to seek some help and guidance there by a professional, psychotherapist, psychologist, counselor. They're all there, and there is absolutely no shame in that at all. There isn't a stigma. I don't think that stigma is around anymore. I think it's, I think in our society today, it is, it's better acknowledged to seek out some help and support if you need it. Yeah. And that can be incredibly useful for you to really implement some boundaries around a particular situation, and just have an awareness and an understanding, because often what we're thinking is different to what the other person is thinking. So we might be thinking that that person's thinking this, that, or the other, but how do we know? It's actually none of our business. We might be making a mountain out of a molehill. So this is going to bring me, I don't know whether anyone's heard of these 4 agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, his Code for Life. If you've heard of these 4 agreements, just give me a thumbs up here. So these are brilliant, and I printed this off. It's pretty old and tatty, and I printed this off, and yeah, I just came across it the other day. I thought, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so they're just really good. So agreement number 2 is don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you're immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. So I just think that that's a really great. So he's got 4 agreements. Agreement 1, be impeccable with your word. This is agreement 2, don't take anything personally. Agreement 3, don't make assumptions. How many of us do that? And agreement 4, always do your best. So these are great. So I'll pop these up into the group later on today. But it's really none of our business what someone else is thinking or thinking. It's our business is how we respond. Yeah. So I'm talking about people because I find that a situation or event is it's typically, it can be a random event, of course, but if it's stemmed from a work colleague or family member or something like that, I feel that that's a prominent area in our life because we are community-bound creatures, and it's not unusual for that to be an impact or a stressor or a stress trigger, right? The other big area is work. Like too many things on your to-do list, right? Too many things. So it's like over. We have such high expectations. So here's the key. Here's a little tip on that. If you've got a whole list of to-do things, just highlight 2 or 3 really important tasks that you will complete that day. Don't worry about all the other ones. Just look, because we tend to put like all of them down, right? Who agrees with me here? Give me a thumbs up if you relate to this. So just highlight the most important 2 or 3. So you do the 2, if you get the 3rd one done, that's a bonus. And then give yourself a break. Make sure you have a time set that you're just going to shut it all down so that stress from work, I'm presuming it's work or whatever it is that you're doing, doesn't infiltrate to your downtime, because that's when that can actually then cause issues with sleep, just impact on your nervous system. So that's having a strong boundary around work. So we need to have strong boundaries around our relationships, around our work situation, all aspects, even IT and computers, TV, all that. Every night, and I actually recommend this as a naturopath, and this is on another topic, we'll talk about that another time, but I actually turn my modem off every single night. I switch the phone off. Sometimes the whole thing kind of infiltrates into the night a little bit, but generally I switch it off at a certain time and then it's off. It doesn't come on again until tomorrow morning, until the next morning. So that allows you to then better connect with significant others in your family, and just have that nice restful downtime, which is very, very important for your nervous system. Yeah. All right. So rehashing number 1 is understanding the triggers and understanding your threshold, right? So you can reset. You know, you can use a journal to actually journal it out, to write it out and see, you know, to get it out of your system, and to find the areas of gratitude as well. And that's going to help you shift from that stressful state into that calm Zen state, right? So if we're focusing on the thing, like where our mind goes, our energy flows. So if we're focusing on the stressful event, it's just going to become bigger and bigger and bigger. And, you know, whatever that event is, it's not going to change, but we're changing. We're changing because we're allowing the energy of that event to take us there. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if we need strategies to circuit break that, because where our mind goes, our energy flows, and we need to hold on to our energy. That is yours. So don't put your energy over there. You know, might need to deal with it, and then a boundary goes up. If it's a long-standing issue, seek help. That actually is number 2. Chronic stress. Seek help. Seek help and guidance. Now, your friends, your loving friends, may not be the best source for help, because our loving friends like to give us their opinion, you know, which may be great to some degree, but we need someone to have an objective view and just to hold space for us. So that's where I highly recommend, you know, and I have a wealth of counsellors, psychologists that I readily refer to. So if you're in a stressful situation and you're needing some help and some guidance, just reach out to me and I'll get you in touch, you know, because some of our stresses are huge and other things are just, you know, like daily triggers, right? So I don't want to downplay something that's absolutely significant and impacted your mind and your body. So with that, just get in touch, private message me, and I can get some support there for you. Okay, so with that low grade chronic, which could be work. Work is a classic low grade chronic stress, or looking after the family unit. Yeah, so these are low grade chronic stresses. So it's important to have your personal boundaries, just like what I spoke about before. So this is my second key to conscious living. Consciously have a boundary. Consciously. Now, in the beginning, especially when you're working with other people, significant others as well, if you just suddenly put up a strong boundary, it's going to throw them out of kilter because they're not used to this boundary. So just edge it in gently. Yeah, just edge it in gently. Because if you suddenly, like if you're always available for, I'm struggling with examples. Let's say you're always available for one particular person in your life. Always. You're always there. You're on call. And then if you suddenly you're not available, you just put that strict boundary up. That's going to throw them off, and it could actually come and bite you in the butt because they're not used to it. So then they think, what's wrong? Something's wrong. And then it just kind of escalates from there. So go gently, maybe suggest a few things like, you know what, that's really great. I'd love to help you with that, but here's when we can connect and I can help you on that. And you just give a couple of times. Okay. So that's just a basic example, but there are many different ways in which we can create boundaries that are actually keeping us healthy, keeping us untriggered, and unburdening us with other people's energies. Okay, so really, really important boundaries. So that's number 2. So number 1, understanding your triggers and threshold. Number 2, your boundaries, right? Number 3, Number 3, learn the art of meditation. You know what? I think there's a reason why the monks do this. I think there's a reason why this has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. You know, there's something really precious about learning the art of meditation. It's sacred, it is for you only, and it also allows you to learn about yourself in so many more ways than you could ever imagine. So start, if this is something you do, who meditates? If you're watching this on the replay or you're here live, let me know who meditates. Personally, I've had a tug-of-war relationship with meditation. It's been something that has been flashing in my mind for years that, oh, I've got to do this. You know, I mean, look at that pressure. Oh, I've got to learn, I've got to meditate. But when you just go to meditate for the first time, it's hard. It's really hard. It's difficult. Just like anything in our life, we need to just keep on going and practice, like, and implement this, you know, the techniques, you know, the nice calm space, light the candles, you know, make sure that the kids are out, you know, the hubby's out, the animals are out, you know, make sure you've got a nice dedicated space for you, and use a guided meditation. There's some fantastic apps. If you're wanting some recommendations, just let me know. I use the Calm app, and I love it because it gives a beautiful message for the day, and I carry that with me for the day. So it's kind of flips to having gratitude as well. Yeah, so learning the art of meditation, and just like everything, the more we practice it, it becomes a new ritual for us, and then it can become a go-to strategy for when we're stressed. Yeah, to slip us into parasympathetic nervous system mode, out of sympathetic. Yeah. Now, you may not have time to go and do a 20-minute or a half-hour meditation. So I'm just going to give you a classic example. Let's say you're at work and you're getting overwhelmed. There is a lot of stress going on. You've got demands on you. Just take 5 minutes. Shut the computer down. If I'm presuming most people's work is with IT computer, may not be. So if you need to remove yourself from the situation, just get outside, feet on the ground. If it's a sunny day, you could put your back on the ground and just connect to earth. If you're in the office, just sit back into the chair, and you might want to do this now while you're sitting watching this. Put your back into the chair so you're well supported, so you can feel your spine against the chair, and lift your toes up so that your heels are on the ground. Because when our toes are on the ground, we are in fight-flight mode. You think about it, ready, set, go in a race, you're on your toes. You know, you're on that front part of your foot. You're ready. You're about to go. But if you switch, just notice how this feels. Take a deep breath. And just switch. Just put your heels on the ground. Lift your toes and the ball of your foot up. And that one simple action starts to initiate a parasympathetic nervous system response out of that fight-flight response. Yeah. Better still, you could lay on the ground and do some deep breathing exercises. Now, I've got a 5-minute stress reduction technique that I've offered into the group. We haven't had many takers, so if you're wanting that, just shout out now. Just say yes, please. And it's just 5 minutes for you to utilize, whether you're at work, whether you've just had an argument, whether there's been some sort of stress or trigger, just to help you come back home, to bring fragments of your energy which have flowed out into different areas that aren't even part of you, for that to come back. Yeah, we need to get those fragmented bits of energy back into our body and have that mind-body integration. Yeah, and just deep breathe, deep breathe. Any thoughts that come into your head, just flick them out. Deep breathe. And that's kind of like initiating a meditation, because we're being present. We're being in the now. You know, whatever it is, it's often stems from the mind. You know, just flick it out. It's not allowed. You know, it's not serving you right now. So just let it go. Let it go and do some nice, conscious, deep breaths, expanding your rib cage out, bringing the air right down into the pit of your belly, holding it for 3 seconds and then breathing out really, really slowly over 5 to 10 seconds. And doing that several times while your back is connected to the ground will be beautifully nurturing to your nervous system. It'll flip you out of sympathetic nervous system response, which is that fight or flight response, and it will bring us back into the now, bringing back calm and bringing back Zen into our life. Yeah. So this is a really great tool to circuit break anxiety that may be starting to spiral, because we know it builds, right? It builds. If anyone here has suffered from anxiety, you'll know it builds. Yeah. And then it can go into overwhelm, and overwhelm can go into meltdown. And then we're exhausted. So we want to circuit break that. We're not shutting it down. We're not stuffing those emotions down. We don't want to stuff it down. What we want to do is have a better response to the stressor, to the trigger, so that we are able to navigate our life in a better way than what we have done prior, so that you know, we're not negatively impacted. Yeah. So learning the art of meditation, I went on a bit there to give you my 5-minute tip, just verbally, but I'll post that up into the group very, very soon. And number four is, I think, an overarching life principle, really, is stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Because what can often trigger you into anxiety or overwhelm or stress is comparison of others, or comparison of other situations, or just not fulfilling what your soul wants. Yeah, because we are a soul having a human experience. I actually saw someone post that today, and I resonate with that so much. So we are actually having a human experience. It's not the other way around. So let's have an awesome human experience. Yeah. So in doing so, you know, we don't want to trigger out of control. We don't want to have this overwhelm. We don't want to have this rapid heartbeat or this insomnia or this stress. It's fragmented energy that's gone elsewhere, outside of your body, outside of your realm. So bring it back, and then stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. And while you're in your lane, agreement number 4 of Don McGill Reese's Code for Life is always do your best. Always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best, and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. So just do your best, and that's enough. That's enough. You're enough. Yeah? All right. So, yeah, art of meditation, going back to key number 3 for conscious living, systems of the body more calm and zen. Other elements that you might want to explore are like yoga, tai chi, qigong as well, and other types. There are many different types of mindfulness activities that you may wish to explore that help to ameliorate stress and overwhelm. Yeah. Okay, so I hope this has helped. Give me a thumbs up if this has helped you today. I'm going to do a little summary because there are so many elements. Yeah, there are so many triggers, and every person has a unique set of triggers or circumstances. So that's why in some circumstances we seek support. In other areas of our life, we could implement our own boundaries. We can implement our own strategies. We can implement our, short little activities that are going to bring us back into our body. So it's all about bringing back and being conscious in your body. Once you're conscious and breathing and being in your body and honoring your body, often you can ameliorate that type of external stress. Yeah, because you giving energy to that is not changing that situation at all, and it's only depleting your source energy. Yeah. All right. So if you're wanting to talk through a little bit more about what's going on for you in terms of how stress has been impacting your health and your wellness, and it may be something that's chronic, it may be something that's short term, it may be a combination of things, just write yes please, just yes please in the comments, and we can have a chat about what's going on for you, your own unique situation. And as I said before, I have a wealth of practitioners that I work alongside together with me in my own program, but also outside of that realm as well. So whatever way you're going to have a clear next step moving forward. So just write yes please in the comments, and I look forward to connecting with you. If you're coming on this live at a later time or a different time of the day, just do a hashtag replay, and I will be best to interact with you then. All right, have a beautiful week. And this Friday, I'll have a special announcement coming up soon. I have a lovely lady that I've been working with for several months now that is coming into this group live this Friday. So more about that a little bit later. All right, have a beautiful week, and bye for now.